Filming live from the firehouse, it's Good Night with Christopher Blue. With special guest, Haley Brandenburg. I'm your co-host Reverb. Here's your host, Christopher Blue.
Hello and welcome to Good Night with Christopher Blue. I'm Christopher Blue and we have a wonderful show for you tonight. Tonight's guest has a wonderful story about her journey. It is a little bit more of a serious episode this time around, but stick around. But before we go, I'd like to thank you for liking, comments, sharing, subscribing. Don't forget to click that bell so you get notified when we upload new content. When we come back, Haley Brandenburg.
Hey. You like Good Night with Christopher Blue?
I love Good Night with Christopher Blue.
You wanna see videos you can't see anywhere else?
Yeah?
Go join the Patreon. We got all sorts of good things in there for ya.
I'm gonna do that right now. Good Night with Christopher Blue Patreon. The link is in the description. Welcome back. Tonight's guest is going to take us through her journey with two different cancers and tell us about how she's stayed strong through this battle. So please welcome Haley Brandenburg. Haley, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we actually work in the same building. That's how I met you,
right.
Working at a retirement home. What is your job in this retirement home?
Mm-hmm. I am the assistant to the chaplain and also work with the activity department in independent living.
Got a lot of vehicles coming by. So you definitely would be strong in your faith then to have such a job. Before I get into that line of questioning, though, I'm getting ahead of myself. Tell us a little bit about your life and getting diagnosed with breast cancer and then later ovarian cancer. How did you first learn of this?
Yeah, well, I was only 28 years old when I found a lump on my breast and knew that it had been a long time since I had even been in for a physical. So I scheduled an appointment, and then during that physical, the lump was confirmed, and then that led to ultrasounds and biopsies and breast cancer. Yeah. Then in that part of the journey, that led to surgery and then chemotherapy and radiation. My girls at the time were only 2 and 4 years old, and so I really didn't think twice about living versus dying. I just continued living, of course. And anyway, fortunately, it had not spread into the lymph nodes or any other areas, so it was just really a short battle, and then was able to put it all behind me and live cancer-free for the next 21 years.
So how long did you live with cancer before you found out you had gotten rid of the breast cancer?
How long did I have the breast
yes.
cancer?
Yeah.
I don't know. They thought that maybe I had it 2 to 3 years before we found it. So yeah, I'm fortunate to be here today.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so, what you said your daughters what was a big motivation to just keep you going. Yeah. Was there anything else that kept you going through that time?
Then?
Yeah.
Definitely, probably the same things that kept me going this round. My faith, my God, and just the support of my family and the people of this community. Definitely. Yeah.
So, you had this break of being able to live cancer free, and then unfortunately you found out another cancer had popped up. What was it like getting diagnosed with ovarian cancer after you'd already battled one cancer?
Yeah. It was a bit of a shock, I guess, although I had kind of a feeling that the cyst wasn't just a cyst that they found. So definitely this round I stared my mortality in the eye a little more. Mm-hmm. Yes, because when you're 28, or at least when I was 28, I just felt invincible. Right. But then when it's the second diagnosis and you're 49 years old and realize that you don't live forever. It was a different battle this time. It was more of an emotional battle. So yeah, it was different this time around.
Yeah. Something I always notice about you, and it's one reason I invited you onto the show. Even though you are battling this horrific thing, you always seem so positive and so happy, and you spread love and joy to others when we're at work. And how is that something that comes easy for you, or do you have to fight to stay that positive?
Overall, it comes pretty easy. It's pretty natural, I think. I've always seen the glass half full. It was challenged these last few months, but yeah, I feel like with every cloud there truly is a silver lining in it, and it's just a matter of finding it. But not to say I haven't battled with depression and fears and anxieties and low self-worth and all of that going through this time. And so there were times where at work, I was probably having bad days and I just kind of put it behind me, or wore the smile. But actually at work you can't really wear a smile. You have to learn to smile with your eyes since we're wearing masks. But yeah, at the end of the day, really, to be able to just put everything in perspective and say, look at all the good things in my life. Look at all the good people, and look at our good God. God is good all the time. And even when we go through things that we can't figure out, where they don't make sense, or maybe where it seems unfair, we still know that God is with us, and he wants what's best for us. And so I just have to continue to hang my hat on that, or continue to believe in that and believe in him. Yeah, there was a thought. I'm also dealing a little bit with chemo brain, so give me a second. It's a real thing. Yeah. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, I don't remember what I was going to say. It was
okay.
About the... Oh, okay. It's okay, maybe it'll come back later.
Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's important to point out that someone battling through something, even if they seem positive all the time, you still have bad days, and it's not always an easy battle.
Right.
So I think it's important to be honest about that. And there's unfortunately we live in a world where cancer exists, and many people suffer from it. What advice would you give to people who are going through their own battles with cancer to help them stay strong?
Well, I think first of all, everyone battles differently, and everyone's story is different. And so I'd want to be sensitive to that, I guess. Yeah. And everyone struggles in a different way. And but if I had just like a general blanket of advice, I guess just keep trusting God in the present, and don't let all of the many worries pile up, but just deal with today. Live in today. The future poses a lot of threats, not just for those with cancer, but for every one of us. And we can live in fear of what may lie ahead, or we can live in faith, and we can dream about the good things that lie ahead. There's a position we can take every single day. And so I would say focus on the moment, and then don't, as much as you can help it, live in fear of the future.
I love that.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you so much for coming on, and then I really wanted to give you the ability to spread some joy and hope.
Thank you.
Using this platform. So is there anything else that you just want to say?
Yeah, the chemo brain is leaving. I'm coming up with some other things.
Wonderful.
I'd like to tell you about. So when I knew I had the cyst, and we did not know that it was cancer, I had woken up one morning and I had this vision. It was almost like half of a dream.
I'm glad you're bringing this up because I did want to ask you about these. And
the checkered floor.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. I saw this checkered floor. It's a black and white checkered floor. We've all seen them. They're black and white tiles, and they're it's like every other one, but they're all touching each other. And so I saw that, and then I heard, it wasn't an audible voice, but I just, in my spirit, I heard God say, stay in my peace, and I will work all things together for your good. And I knew that the white squares represented his peace, and the black squares represented the worries, the what-ifs, the fears, the anxieties, the questions, the things that were troubling me. And so I've really leaned on that as much as I could through this process, but I must say I kind of feel like I've spent most of my time in the black squares, in the fear squares, and trying to get to his peace squares. But yes, I have found peace in it too. But here lately, an idea just came to me, and I'm really excited about trying this a little bit more, working with it a little bit more. And that is, anytime I have a fear or anything that causes me to be discouraged or depressed, I'm going to write it on a page in a black square. So I made up a page of white and black squares. So I'm going to write it in the black square. And then I'm also going to write beside that in a white square where I find peace in this matter, like a positive thought, a scripture, something that's good that is helping me get through it. And so then after writing in the black square, I take my black colored pencil and I shade it out. So that way I can better stay in God's peace, stay in the things that give me peace.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
allowing yourself to feel the negativity, but not allowing it to consume you.
Yes.
That is wonderful.
And to be able to put it in its place.
Yeah.
To say, I'm feeling this now, what do I do with it? Instead of just letting it continue to swirl around my head, swirl around in my life, I can put it on the page and then I can shade it out. Yeah. Say, no, I'm going to stay in this peace. So it's only taken me, 5 months to get to that point, but that's okay. Yeah.
Talking about you writing, that reminded me, you started journaling to kind of, I guess, keep your story like on a page. Is that why you started, or?
Honestly, no. I started because there was a lady at Peabody who was just one of the greatest prayer warriors for me and encourager for me, which, by the way, there were so many people at Peabody that have encouraged me, people who lived there, who've just really entered this battle with me. But anyway, she said, you need to be writing this down, you need to be journaling this. And I did not want to. Yeah. But I trust her and I trust her wisdom, and so I started. And I look back on it now and I'm so glad that I did. Otherwise there'd be a lot of things that I would have forgotten. Yeah. Or not realized that I've worked through them, or realized maybe that I need to work through them, because the days just kind of, as all of us, they just, day in, day out, and we kind of go through the days just going through the motions and not really realizing the significant parts. And so journaling helps with that. Yeah.
Well, Haley, you absolutely have been a spark of joy in my life, a source of inspiration, and I do wish health, improvement in health, and all that. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thanks.
Well, that's our show. Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. Don't forget to ring that bell so you get notified whenever we upload new content. Until next time, good night, my sweet baby angels. I'll see you in the future.